So let me just kind of give you an overview of what's going on here so you have an idea of what it is I am trying to accomplish or do. So I have this Sabvaton 72150 that was my bike controller. And it was a nice little bike controller. But unfortunately, Lewis is an idiot, and Lewis did not properly label his wires or color code his wires. So when Lewis gave his bicycle to someone else to try and fix a gear skipping issue, that person thought these wires are the same color, they're the same thing. They're not. The 5-volt throttle wire and the 58-volt trigger wire got mixed up, and now you have this. See? That's a chip that's blown up. Blown up, blown up, blown up, blown up. So 58 volts went where 5 volts was supposed to go. And now, in addition, Lewis apparently is as good as waterproofing bikes as Apple is at waterproofing MacBooks. So the motor itself also had some issues where it blew up, and I'm going to just kind of try to organize this desk a little bit so that we can work on it. And I'm not going to be fixing my controller. I'm going to be trying to program a new controller. I'm going to be trying to use a Kelly controller here. A Kelly is a different controller. I think I just unplugged my monitor from my computer here for a moment. Yeah, a Kelly is a different type of controller. And I don't know how this works. I tried to figure it out last year and I gave up. The other thing that we have here, so I got a charger just to supply power to it. I have a stock BBS HD controller, but this thing is a piece of shit. This thing is trash. This thing kills rotors dead because it's a square wave, not a sine wave. And the acceleration curve of it is crazy. It does way too much right in the beginning, and it just destroys everything. Now we also have here a Bafang motor core that, as you can see, is burned and destroyed. Totally destroyed. However, the rotor, pinion, whatever the fuck you want to call this inside, is totally fine. Whereas this is a totally fine motor, but it doesn't have a rotor. So there's a couple of things that we're going to have to do here before we can even get started. The first thing we need to do is take this out of here and put it in there, which means I have to find myself a set of pliers, which I don't have in my office because I don't use this much for fixing MacBooks. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find myself pliers or something kind of like pliers, and then use the pliers, or plier equivalency, to rip that out of the left one and put it into the right one. So let's just do that. So here we have something that's similar to pliers. So I'm going to push down here, pull up, or pull out, as they would say. This is kind of a difficult thing to do. You're not supposed to grab it by this, but that's the only way I'm ever able to get traction. Alright, so first thing to do here. Come on. Usually what I wind up doing is I actually stand on it as I pull. So let's see if I can. I actually don't know if I can get that on this camera, but I will try. Let's see, I think I can pull this out. Let's pull out. Never pull in, always pull out. Okay, so. Okay. So, I'm going to put this on the floor, like so. Professional. I'm going to take my tool like a professional. And then, I'm going to stand on it. Say, fuck you, burnt motor. And pull this shit out. These are not the best shoes to be doing this with. It's some fancy schmancy Nike crap with the rubber. Ah! There we go. Now this is not in the best of condition here. You can tell that the liquid proofing, that Lewis, like Rossmann repair liquid resistance is, yeah. Seen, this is, yeah, this is pretty Apple-ish, actually. So, I'm actually going to put this aside, and I'm going to take one from another motor core and see what it looks like before I apply it to this one. Firstly, okay, what do we have here? This actually looks like a good motor core. It's just missing its Hall sensor board. Alright, so which of these looks less shit? Ow! Son of a bitch. Fucking magnet. Alright. Oh god, pulling those apart is hard. Okay, so the one in my right hand, I think, looks significantly shittier. Just get that in focus. Huh? Yeah, the one on my right hand looks significantly shittier than the one on my left hand. So I'm going to take the one from my left hand and use that for now. Just going to store that in another motor core. For now. That can get away. Alright, so this here is going to be our motor core on the desk. Just going to roll back the tripod camera stand here a little bit. So you're replacing only the stator. Well, no, this is just one part of a very long project. So essentially I have one with a blown motor, one with Hall sensor bad. I have a bunch of different ones in a bunch of different conditions. So next up, I'm going to make one motor core that's good. So we're going to take this, and this is going to, that freaks me out every time. Anyway, so that's in there. Now, next up, this is the Kelly controller. This is the shit wire. This is only for test wiring. So before I had a proper soldering station, I was using my MacBook soldering station to do this, and it wasn't working, so I just twisted the wires together, and then after twisting them together, I cover them in tape, which obviously is not the way to pretty much do anything in life, but I did that just so that I would have something that I can test with. Now I have a 260 watt soldering iron that's actually meant for this. So I don't really need to worry. It's not like I have to do hack job shit like this anymore. But for this will do for the time being. It's not like I'm putting much amperage into this on the table. Now the first thing I'm going to do is try and figure out what the Hall sensor wires are on this. So you have a Hall sensor, you have plus minus, Hall 3, Hall 1, Hall 2, because that's how you count in Chinese apparently. Hall 3, Hall 1, Hall 2, and then plus. And you also have T, which is for motor temperature, which I don't really care about since I could never really get that to work anyway. And I imagine that goes to this connector on this controller. This is a Kelly KLS 7230 that I have on the table here. The KLS 7230. And this is the connector for it. It connects to one of these things. Now, what we're looking to do here is figure out which is which, pretty much. Because all this stuff is virtually undocumented. So I'm going to make myself a cable that I'm probably going to be using as a test cable for this. So I'm going to make myself a test cable for Hall sensor wires. Now this is a JST SM connector that the Bafang BBS HD motor uses over here. This is I believe a JST SM, I think, and I have a bunch of them here. And just for testing purposes, I have them on all these like quick, these quick easy crimp connectors so that I can, mess with it. And we're going to, my goal is to make the motor spin. So usually what we work on this channel is fan spin. But here we're trying to, this is very similar concept, motor spin. That is what we're going for. So what I want to do is I want to look up the manual for the KLS 7230. And after I find the manual to this, I want to try and figure out where all these go. Now these connectors over here, I find these to be junk. They're not liquid resistant at all. So I usually wind up cutting these things off and using a waterproof crimp connector. This is not a waterproof crimp connector. To be clear, this is not waterproof crimp. This is not waterproof. Just for office testing, only office testing. So I'm going to likely cut this thing off because it's pretty useless to me. But before I cut it off, I just want to know what these wires all are. So I have numbers over here, right? So the first thing I need to do is look up a manual for this controller and then look up what these numbers are all for, because there's little number markings on the controller. See? Manual focus back. Manual focus. Okay, what do we have here? So 16, 18, see what do we, 17, 18. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a legend for myself, and the legend is going to say what each of the colors actually correspond to. So in order to do that, we're just going to go back over to the computer. I'm going to look up a manual for the KLS 7230. That is not a T2 chip. And see what we get. So KLS 7230 manual. Now, one thing I'm not going to do is trust anything I read in chat, ever. Because there's only one time, about 1.5 years ago, that I trusted the wiring in chat, and I almost lit myself on fire. So I'm never doing that again. So don't even bother posting in the chat what wires go to what, because I'm not lighting myself on fire. No. The motivation, because it's a live stream with video, to watch me set myself on fire is so high that even people who are normal viewers, that are mature people, are likely not going to be able to help or resist themselves from giving me the wrong wiring combinations so that they see me do something stupid or flip over my bike or go on fire. So I'm not even, so like, don't even bother posting it, because I'm literally just going to ignore it, just because, again, it's the internet, and it's not going to end well for me. So let's go over here, and we're going to see what the wire pinout is, if they even give it to us. This is some random Chinese controller, so honestly, I would be pretty surprised if I even get anything. Here we go. So over here, they say that this is a waterproof connector. My cock and balls, this is a waterproof connector. When your bike, when you take your hand off the throttle and it keeps throttling, because that connector that they call waterproof is actually not, and there's corrosion growing on it, you'll learn your lesson the hard way. When you're going 40 miles an hour, you take your hand off the throttle, and the bike doesn't fucking stop. That's not a waterproof connector. Fuck anybody who calls that thing a waterproof connector. It is not waterproof. That's bullshit. But anyway, back to this. So we're going to go back here. So what you have, so we already actually have a color code here, all right? So I'm just going to write it down in Notepad to make things easy for me. So we have 3... So let's see, what do we... They don't even have a temperature wire, it seems. No, James. No. Okay. So black, ground, purple, 5 volts, yellow, Hall A, green, Hall B, blue, Hall C. Now here is where the question comes in, right? So in the buffeting motor, you have Hall 1, Hall 2, and Hall 3. Hall 1, actually Hall 3, Hall 1, and Hall 2. Remember, in Chinesium, we don't count based on 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1. We count 3, 1, 2. That's the pro way. That's how you know you're a pro. Now, which hall is which? So we have all A, B, and C, and 1, 2, and 3. But it's not even 1, 2, and 3. We have 3, 1, and 2. So which hall is going to go to which is going to be an interesting thing to figure out. So I'm just going to cut this wire over here, and we are going to try and figure out what goes to what. But before I do that, I'm going to crimp each one of those with a little female connector. and go from there. As of course, as soon as I walk across the room to go get something, something shows up on the screen. That's life. Your mic is buzzing intermittently. Yeah, there's not much I can do about it right now. I'm trying to fix my bike, I'm afraid. I can't troubleshoot a microphone right now. It's a Sennheiser. This is what the Sennheiser wireless things do. I have 2 of them. I've tried different frequency ranges. I've tried scanning different frequency ranges when it happens. It's unfortunate. I do want to migrate myself away from using the Sennheiser wireless packs because I've had this experience with them in the past, but I have not had the time to, and honestly, I'd rather just fix my bike than spend all day troubleshooting audio. Sorry. So first thing I'm going to do is get myself a cutter. Yeah, like I never make time for myself for my own things, and I'd like to start making time for my things again. That's why all my stuff never works. First, I should probably find a good set of wire cutters because mine is kind of broken. But I'll just use my broken ones for now. But yeah, don't buy the Sennheiser wireless pack things. Like they seem like they were the most professional, but I've had 3 separate ones all do this. And it never happened to me with the Shure ones. I actually had a Shure one that was really reliable, and I sent it to Tim Herman. I mean, I'm happy I sent it to Tim. You know, he does good videos with it, and he's a good guy, and he deserves it. But yeah, there's not really much I could do there with the mic. Okay, so first thing I have to do is find out where I put my broken wire cutters. I guess I have something. I could use this crimper thing, but it's just not as nice for cutting wires specifically. But I'll do it here. All right, so what do we got? So these are the Hall sensor ones. So I'm just going to cut all of these over here. Okay, and on each of these, I am going to put a more close to waterproof crimp connection. So, give me all these. Might as well get myself a chair as well. By the way, one of the cool things here is that I actually have enough space, since I have this entire 8-foot desk to myself now, to do a stream of something else. So like I don't have to fuck up my normal desk if I want to show you something that has nothing to do with MacBooks. It's pretty cool. I'm enjoying the new store. So okay. Now remember the rule with board repair. We have a rule with board repair, which is arrange things in the desk so that it's comfortable for you, not so that it's comfortable for the device that you're working on. And this is really going to be no different. So we're going to take this, spin it around, and we have our wires over here. And I'm going to put a little female connector on each of them. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Is your bike fully electric? Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Electrified by Rossman. Okay. It's a nice solid crimp there. Next. Samuel, what I said before, I'm not taking any of that from chat. Literally the last 2 times that I did this stuff on stream 1.5 years and 2 years ago, I almost set myself on fire, and then a bunch of people in chat laughed. So just to save yourself the time from pasting literally any wiring advice I get in chat when it comes to this, I'm completely ignoring, for the reason that several people actually found it quite funny when I almost set myself on fire. So, all right. Okay, what are we in there? That's right. Ugh. Okay. Hope business is going well during this whole ordeal. Your content's helped a lot of people, and honestly, if it makes me want to learn board repair. That's awesome. Will Rich Rebuilds make a surprise appearance? He probably, if... It would be funny if he made an appearance saying, "Stop, what the fuck are you doing?" That's not how that works. Yeah, business has been interesting. Went from totally dead to more business than there ever was before the pandemic. Rich Rebuild is a good guy. Setting yourself on fire is a bad way to get views. It is, it really is, because you can't be around for it, you know? So I'm going to try to not set myself on fire, because I kind of like being alive. It's, one of my favorite pastimes. So. You can't blame Chad if stuff goes wrong. Well, I could always blame you. Blaming Chad is also one of my favorite pastimes. I mess something up, blame Chad. Chat messes something up, blame Chat twice. That's how I roll. Okay. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now I have my JST SM wire, which I got off Amazon. Someone actually sells these on Amazon, which is amazing. It's really hard to find this stuff. The thing is, it's like I know what I need, right? I knew when I was buying this stuff, I needed this thingy, but I don't know what that's called. And if you don't know what this is called, good luck. Because when you ask on forums, people are just going to say, "You're an idiot, you don't even know that." Or it's a JST, duh. But there's over 20 different types of JST connectors. So the general unhelpfulness of the internet when you ask a question that requires help is going to really fuck with you when you need to know what this kind of stuff is. That's pretty much the internet, and most people know what it is right now. What you do is you don't ask for help, because if you ask for help, people will laugh at you. But if you just do it wrong and say, "This is how you do it right," then people will actually help you. More people using Mac because they're stuck at home. That is possible. That is very possible. All right, so remember, on the Kelly, so the first wire here is going to be plus. You know what? I may actually crimp these with the proper more connectors just to make my life easy, so that when it's time to put it on the bike, I can use those. Here, I'm going to grab those right now, actually. Might as well just do it right the first time. Save myself some time. I swear, you guys know when I walk away, because a message shows up on the screen every time I walk away. Don't blame chat, blame Kopaz. But that's actually pretty fair as well. I think that blaming Kopaz is a prerequisite for an essential e-bike build. Okay. So now I'm going to put the male ends on this side. Right. So this is going to be plus. Now plus goes to purple. Plus is purple. All right, bam. Next up is minus. Do they still make you pedal when using the motor? I don't know what's up with that. It's always safer to pretend you're pedaling. You should pretend that you're pedaling just in case. I would like to label this bike the Fuck Cuomo Special. Okay, here. So this is ground. Ground goes to the black wire. Boom. Next up is Hall 3. So I'm going to take a guess that Hall 3 goes to Hall C. By the way, this is why I love the internet, because these ones that are not waterproof is all I could find at Home Depot and also at the local hardware store. But when you use the internet, you can get the waterproof ones. And you don't have to wait in line. Yeah, I feel bad for retail, but it's never going to be able to compete with online because there's so much stuff you can get online that you can't get in retail, and you get so many better options. I could use a set of flush cutters right now, though. Yeah, you get a lot of better options. So I'm going to guess that Hall 3 is going to go to Hall C. So 1, 2, 3, ABC. Or as they say in Jackson 5, ABC. Da-da-da-da, 1, 2, 3. So this is Hall 3 over here. Hall 3, I'm going to put to blue, which is Hall C. That's a shit. Nobody saw that. You didn't see that. Yeah, this wire is maybe a little bit small for this. It says 18 or 22 gauge or something, and I believe this is 22 gauge wire. Ugh. There we go. Next is Hall 1. Hall 1 is going to go to Hall A, which is the yellow wire. Nah, I still work out. I just do calisthenics. I kind of miss going to the gym, but oh well. What are you going to do? I'll go to the gym when I come back. Still getting my dips and my pull-ups in on a regular basis. Still beat Steve at it, which is really what matters here. Okay, so Hall 1 goes to the yellow. Now green is Hall B. Hall B is this one. I'm doing running since I can't really do squats or deadlifts with heavy weight. I figure I might as well do sprint running and try and get myself into, at least if I can't, work on keeping my legs in top weightlifting shape, maybe I could focus on keeping my legs in at least good running shape. And sprint running you really do feel it in your legs. It's not like a jog. You feel it like you lifted weights the day before. All right, so this goes in there. We're going to crimp this, attach it to the green. All right, now next are the phase wires. This is where the actual power is going to be coming through here. So we have a green one, and obviously that's going to have to get redone because that's trash. We have the temperature one as well, but we'll just leave that off for now. I don't need temperature. So we have green. Over here we have blue. Again, this is shit because I had kind of twisted those wires together before I had a 260 watt soldering iron. My 40 watt soldering iron was not really feeling the whole 8 gauge wire thing. And yellow. Okay, so now what we'd like to do is see if this is the working configuration for motor spin. Now, the Kelly controller comes with a tablet. When soldering a chip with ground pad and pin pads, the solder I add to the pin pads always joins off together. More flux. Yeah, more flux, man. So you push it down, you're gonna look at my video on how to solder an ISL 9259 even if you suck at soldering. I have some video from 5 years ago, how to solder an ISL 6259 even if you suck at soldering, and I go over it really well there. So the TLDR is you solder, you lots of flux, tin the pads, put the chip on top, hot air, push. When you push down, the ground pad solder is going to kind of come out. But who really gives a shit? You're going to take your micro pencil at that point. What you really care about is that the chip is flat in the board. If the chip is flat in the board, you can fix the stuff that's shorted on the outside later. If the chip is not flat in the board, you're never going to get a good connection. What you really need is for the chip to get a good connection on the board. Then you go around it with your micro pencil with a lot of flux, and you will see that the junk solder or the excess is going to go onto the iron. Okay, so now what I want to do is turn this thing on. But I want to turn it on, and I want my tablet to be hooked up, because this actually comes with a tablet. I bought it with all this extra stuff because I know that I'm an idiot, and I knew that I would need it. So it comes with a tablet that tells you all the error code, debugging, and all that. You could usually install an application for your computer to do that, but this stuff is really, really old Chinesium, serial port. The drivers that they send you for the serial port half the time don't fucking work properly. It's all sorts of misery like that. I've never used a HAKKO FX888D, so I don't know what to tell you there. I use a 936. Sorry. So here, what the fuck are you doing with an 888 in 2020 anyway? But if this is what you want to do. Also, is the FX888 the one that has? Is that the one where the heating element is built into the tip, or is that the one where you have a separate heating element and tip? If your 888 has the heating element built into the tip, then yeah, I mean, you may be able to find something that works. Some sort of knife tip like this. But if it has the heating element separate from the tip, then just throw that thing in donate that shit to a, makerspace or something. You don't use that for commercial MacBook repair. That's going to drive you fucking crazy. I mean, I used it. I've used it before. I used my 936 for a long time before I got the 951. But yeah, anyway, I really got to get back to this. Sorry. So this has a tablet, and the cool thing with the tablet is that the tablet has all the drivers, whatever the fuck, to be able to speak to the motor controller already built into it. So, and the reason I paid extra to get this is because I don't want to deal with the whole, it doesn't work in your computer because you didn't install it right or whatever. Like, no, fuck you. This is your tablet. So if it doesn't work, I can blame you. And that makes life easier for me, which I enjoy, because this is a new device and I don't really know what I'm doing with it. So this is the controller. Now this is a box that essentially has all the functions of a bike when it's fully set up. So I have a throttle, brake switch, front, neutral, rear, whatever, and the key to turn it on. Now, the controller is also powered by, I imagine, the power connector for the motor. So I have a XT90 over here that's, professional. Look at that. See that? That's what we call professional. Look at that. Look at that! Look at that! There's no potential for short-circuiting there. But this is just for testing on my desk. So these wires are going to go to this little control box over here to power the control box. This here is a 58-volt charger that's pretty much resembling a battery. This can put out 14 amps or 12 to, I think, like 11 or 14 amps. I don't need the ability to do that much because I'm testing a motor that's not attached to a real load. So all I need to do is see if I can get the shit to spin. That's more than enough for that. So I'm just going to do this. So now I have power going to my controller as well as to my box. And I'm just going to try to neaten the wires a little bit as I go because I don't want this to be too much of a mess. Now I'm going to take the the battery charger, the 58-volt battery charger that I'm using for this. I'm going to plug it in. And as soon as I plugged it in, I heard something scary. God help me. And I'm going to turn on the controller. Over here, I'm going to choose the type of communication. I'm going to set it to FS232 in the app. And let's see how bad this is. Yeah, let's see. So it's the best iron I could afford at the time. I mean, you know, stop giving me money. I'll be able to afford a better one. No, seriously. I'll read your chat if you don't pay me. Stop giving me money until here's your assignment, James. You're not allowed to use Super Chat until you have an FX 951. Once you have an FX 951, then you're allowed to. But until you have FX 951, you stop giving me money. All right, so it says open device failed. This is why I fucking hated this controller. So it says open failed. Like, what the device not open, please open device first. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. Confirm to exit. Let's see. AC. Please select the type of communication. FT232. Open. Open device failed. Now, this is why I hate the Kelly controller and why I think it's an annoying piece of shit. So I have this. Look at what they send you with this. I'm not kidding. So you have a wire, micro USB to USB-A, USB-A over here, and this goes to this. This little VGA looking connection goes to this serial thing. 4 wires coming out of here with a little exposed PCB right there. This is a totally exposed PCB. And that then goes to this, which then goes to the controller. This is a clusterfuck. Try a shorter cable. Like, where? I'm going to go down to the... Where the fuck am I going to go to get a shorter cable? In a city that's closed? Like, where would I go even if there wasn't a pandemic to get a shorter cable? I don't know where the hell you guys get this shit from. Get a shorter cable. Okay. So open device fail. Now this is pretty much what I expect from a Kelly controller. I've dealt with many Kelly controllers in the past, and it's not surprising to me that this doesn't work because, again, it is a Kelly controller, and that's what they do pretty much. If it worked, it would be, you know, something other than a Kelly controller, like a Salvaton or an ASI or a Leon. But yeah, this is. But yeah, this is what I expect from a Kelly controller, pretty much. A Kelly controller is not designed to work; it is designed to frustrate you. Let's see if I can get any change in lights on this front thing over here. Device is not open. Open device. Open device failed. Let's see. Is the USB port on this tablet broken? That's a great question. Let's see what happens if I try to charge the tablet. Okay, the tablet is able to be charged. Here we go. Allow the app to access the USB device. So it looks like this is a permissions issue. So Huawei tablets by default will only allow information to go to the Chinese government, but not to a motor controller. So it looks like a permissions issue. So now it says open flash failed, which is actually a different error code. So it means we're getting somewhere. So open flash failed is actually different from failed in general. They're completely out of stock, Soren, so there's not really much you can do with that. Yeah, so this I have here. This I have. That is out of stock and without really any sort of ETA that I can tell. So this, we're going to try to make do with what we have, since my other controller blew up, and I'd like to have this back working without waiting 3 weeks to 6 weeks for a controller to come in, since all the controllers are out of stock everywhere. Alright, so let's try this again. Plug it in again. Confirm exit. Is there any sort of permissions that I can automatically set in this app? Because I remember that from last year. I remember the Kelly app I remember it asking about permissions. So I'm kind of curious now if there's a way, let's see. Go into settings, can you configure baud rate? No. There are no settings in this app. It's literally, you have to hit open first. Is debug activated on the port? That's a great question. I have no idea. So let's see. How do I find that shit? Where would I go to enable debug on this? You need to check your baud rate for the device to communicate. I mean, that's easy for chat to say, but there's no where. Like where? It's easy to give very overly general advice without saying what you actually should do. Like that without a way to get to it is unfortunately useless to me, which is why I wind up ignoring it. Let's see. Bottom developer mode. Is that an about tablet? About tablet software, tap build number 20 times. About tablet. Yeah, I remember doing this a long time ago. Let's see. I'm a developer. NZK, guess who sent 58 volts to the 5 volt line on my other controller to begin with? We're not doing that again. At least not for now. Later maybe, but not now. Okay, so we're on developer options. USB debugging. Okay. Let's try the app now. So we're pretty much right where we were when we started. Hit build number 7 times. We're check permissions. All right, let's try permission. Permission manager. Trust this application, give it access to full permissions. Okay. Allow the app by AC add user to access this use by default. Okay, so now we get open flash failed, which is actually... Okay, now we're back to open device failed. So we're... This is some pretty intense Chinesium here. Set debug app and developer settings. Debug app. Where is select debug app? No. Is this it? I don't think the cable is bad because this was, I mean, I did use this last year and it worked, and the cable hasn't seen any bending or storage or anything since. Just been sitting in a bag this entire time. The USB socket is not inserted correctly. Yes, it is actually inserted correctly. You are not wanting to debug the app. Then why did somebody say debug the app? In the tablet. Yes, in the tablet. Yes. We're in the tablet. Holy crap. Let's see. Is there anything useful in chat? Reboot the tablet. You know what? That's more useful than all in caps in the tablet. Because that's pretty useless. So we reboot the tablet. Is there a PC version of the setup software available? JP, actually, if you could tell me, if you could do my homework here. So this is a KLS 7230S controller. Can you find me an app? It's KLS 7230S. Select the USB config mode. Check that it is in host mode. Oh, where? Where is USB config mode? If you say check a setting, can you do me a favor and tell me where that is? Because if you don't tell me where it is, then not much I can do with it, unfortunately. The USB socket does not sit properly in the tablet. Yes, it does. Look. Okay, well, it's not the most beautiful in the world, but it sits, kind of sits. It's micro USB. This is as good as you're gonna get. Yes, host mode. I don't know what you mean by any of that, honestly. It seems like the comments that have all caps are the comments that are the ones that are the least understandable. USB host mode is enabled by the OTG adapter. If you're running Android, you might have to put the tablet in developer mode. Yeah, I got developer mode on. So developer mode, I'm a developer. Look at me, I'm fancy. Could you swap cables around? Around with what? Okay, open flash failed. Reboot the controller. That has already been done, actually. But to make you happy, I will give it another shot. Alright. Also, let's see if there's a PC app available for this piece of shit. This is why I usually use Subvaton instead of Kelly. Because Subvaton controllers just kind of work. You just plug it in, you use the software, and it's Chinesium, but it works. Whereas Kelly controllers are pretty much a nightmare. And nothing with Kelly works right, even if you get their hardware and software. Like, this is the tablet that Kelly supplies you with, and the cable that Kelly supplies you with. And it's pretty useless. Yeah, I added every permission to this, actually. I don't think I'm going to get this app on the Play Store to transfer it to my phone. Yeah, so it is connecting to something, but it's saying open flash failed. Now, let's see. Maybe it's because this is a fairly long wire for serial. But I don't have a shorter one laying around, so there's not much to be done there. Let's at least not have the wire intersecting the power plugs. All right, so now we're going to go do a little bit of Googling. So open flash failed, Kelly 7230S. Let's see what Google has to say. Try changing the cable. With what? That's, it's not like, that's not the type of cable where if I need another one, I just go to Best Buy and they have one. And even if it was, I don't even think any of those stores are actually open at the moment to grab them from. So what I'm going to do, Kelly controller, open flash failed. Let's see what the internet has to say. Okay, so no answer there, so they don't have an answer. This is a 21-page thread. JT Zunki, we are not even remotely close to that set yet. All right, so that guy with open flash there never got his question answered either. All right, let's see. KLS 7230S software. Try a hub with USB 5-volt input. I'm not quite sure how that would work. Let's see. I don't even know if I don't have a USB hub. But I got this worked at one point in time, just attached as is. So I don't understand how it would have changed. So if this did allow me to connect last year without a USB hub, and I'm not sure how I would actually hook that up. I'm really not sure how I would hook that up so that this speaks to that through a USB hub. I have no clue actually. Incorrect Doom Master as well. Incredibly incorrect, actually. Okay, JP gave me a link to a program, so we're going to try this program and see what happens. There's one red LED, but that's it. Okay, so let's install random software that YouTube chat gave me. Yeah, I saw, Andre. Thank you. So we're going to open this. See if we can get this shit to work. Never punish yourself and get a Kelly controller. No one deserves this. No one deserves this. Buy a Sabvoton. S-A-B-V-A-V-O-T-O-N. S-A-B-V-O-T-O-N. Much better than this pile of shit. Like, you disconnect it and it works. But they're all out of stock everywhere. The only thing I have is this piece of shit. All right. So let's turn on the software on. So it says controller, no power, or RS-232 cable disconnect. So it says that it's not plugged in even though it is plugged in. Yeah, so that software does not work since it says that I'm not connected. But I am connected. Interesting. All right, so what to do at this point then? There would not be corrosion inside of a controller that was never used or put outside. No, I don't see that happening. Okay. This Kelly thing is weird. It doesn't even ask me to choose a port. When I open the software, There's no port or anything there. Yeah, controller no power or RS-232 cable disconnect. So that is pretty much end of the road here. Does Windows see the serial port and device manager? Let's see. It sees my multimeter and my power supply, but it doesn't see this thing. Let's see what it sees actually. Actually, never mind, it does. So we have COM3, COM4, that's my power supply and my multimeter. And then when I plug this thing in, 3, 4, yeah, we have COM5. So this does, yes, it is on COM5. Now, do I have to change the port? So here's what I'm wondering. So we do have COM5, USB serial port. Now, my question is this software looking for the device on a specific COM port? Because if that's the case, then I can change the COM port. So what COM port is the Kelly piece of shit looking for it on? Have you ever heard of a green phase runner? Yes, I've heard of the controller that's out of stock in every vendor. Boring. Incredibly boring. I could care less about a controller that no one has in stock because that's pretty much useless to me. Less than useless, actually. Totally useless. Like 120% useless. 200% useless. So, here, I'll put this on the screen. So this unplug other serial devices, their software might be stupid. That's good. Okay, I'll do that. So I have this is my serial port, COM5, over here. So maybe I have to set this to a different COM port in order for it to work. So what COM port is Kelly looking for this on? I think so, Twitch, but I forget. Dumb software looks for units on COM1. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to turn this into COM1 and see what happens. Looks like that made device manager freeze. Yeah, that pretty much made device manager freeze. Ha! COM1. Hit OK. Okay, COM1. No, I'm not restarting my computer. I'm streaming, you mofo. Okay, the user app still doesn't see it. So next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to unplug my power supply and Paul Daniels multimeter software thing, just to not confuse this piece of shit. I'm under the desk right now, so if anybody donates, I won't be able to read your comment. Keep that in mind, please. It seems to be a great pastime to have Lewis read a comment when he's out of the room. Alright, so that's one COM port I believe I unplugged. And we have another one, which is going to a USB splitter thingy. Where's my USB hub splitter thingy? Aha, under there. It's your tablet developer options, default USB configurations. Please tell me you checked this. Please tell you what. What do you mean by check? See, that's the problem with most internet advice, is it doesn't really give you anything to go on. So, like, what do you mean by check? Like, do you mean I like... Because if you say this option needs to be set to this parameter, then I can say yes or no. But if you say, did you check? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Pretty useless. All right, so I unplugged everything besides this piece of shit Kelly controller. So now we're going to try opening it again and see what happens. Yeah, pretty much same shit. Controller, no power, or RS-232 cable disconnect. In device manager, see what COM port the USB COM device is using, then set the app to use that COM port. It's as simple as that. Okay, so how do you set the app to use that COM port when you double click it, it literally doesn't start and tells you this? I'm reading internet advice, and I think that's a big part of the problem here. So there's not really, like there's no actual setting a port on this. You can't set a port on it because you can't actually open it. And that's a big part of the problem. You start as administrator. Yeah, why not? Let's run this random Chinesium software as an administrator. What could go wrong? Yeah, pretty much same shit. Tried installing the software on an Apple device. Lol. Heck search the exe for COM under the settings. That's starting to become a little ridiculous. There's an XP version of this software? Yeah, the XP version. Put the top bearing on before testing, you may damage the rotor. No, I'm not. I've done this before. You're not going to damage it if you put barely any power through it. Turn off device, plug in USB, turn on device. Turn off device. Let's see. What if this only wants to work if I unplug it? That would be interesting. Let's see. Nah, pretty much same shit. It's possible green light, but we're so far from that actually. We're very, very far away from that actually being part of what we're ready to test. Are you connecting the USB to a hub or straight into a PCI card? That question is confusing to me. So we have this USB cable here. This is a USB cable. It plugs into this weird thingamajig. I believe this does the USB to serial conversion. And that plugs into the controller over here. And then you have controller. And the controller over there has a light. See the light? And that's pretty much that. $400 later, guess what I bought? Is it really that much? I got mine for like 200 something. That's crazy. What if the box has to be hooked up at a lower voltage? Because I'm assuming that the box gets hooked up at 58 volts. What if the box needs 5 or 12 volts or something? The controller is not going to have corrosion inside because the controller has never been outside before and it's never been used on a bicycle. And it's water resistant. But I mean, even besides that, like opening the controller is pointless. This is purely shit product. I agree, it is a Kelly controller. And this is the second one I've had that does random stupid shit like this. It is my fault and my idiocy that I will have to live with that I was stupid enough to ever purchase a Kelly controller product. They're really not good products. Literally any company of controller is better than a Kelly. Okay. Will these wires reach my power supply? Of course not. Maybe the box is only meant to work with a lower voltage. Install the driver, serial driver, on the Kelly controller website. Alright, we could try that. It does show up as a COM port in Windows, yes. Let's see, what do we have on the Kelly controller website? Check the KLS folder for a config file. There is no config file. There are no files, actually. Maybe something's wrong with the USB to serial adapter. It could be, but I don't have another one, and to get another one would likely require waiting 4 to 6 weeks from China. So there's not much I can do with that. Let's see. Someone said try software on their site. So let's see what is on their website, actually. So what do we have here? KLS 7230S. I don't see anything there, actually. Interesting, Clay. So that doesn't matter. All right, scroll down to driver. Measure it with a terminal program in scope at the end. What's it? And I don't have a terminal programmer or scope at the end. Let's see. Support. Here we go. Manuals and software. KLS. KLS. KSL, KVD, KVD. Here we go, KLS. Let's try my Android phone, maybe. What's this? Is that an actual APK? Because maybe I'll try it. Oh, wait, no. My Android phone is not fucking USB. It's USB-C. Fuck. Wait, but I have a piece of shit tablet in the front that's micro USB. I think he blocked me. I wish he read the developer options. No, I didn't block you. You said to check this, but you never said what the setting actually was, and then you disappeared. Okay. AC add user. We're going to try this on a different tablet. We're going to use this on the customer check-in tablet that I have in the front. You go to hell and you die, Jay Kurtz. All right, so let me get the front tablet that I use for checking in customers, and we're going to see if it works on that. I can't read that because I'm walking to the front, unfortunately. All right, let's see what we got up here. So I have a Lenovo tablet that we use for checking customers in if they don't want to use their own cell phone to do so. And it looks like one of those tablets is actually dead because Kevin didn't charge it. So, the consequences for that for Kevin are going to be that tomorrow we don't charge Kevin. What do you think is going to happen when Kevin's taken off the charger? Exactly. Exactly. Okay. We're going to install a random Chinese APK onto this tablet. What's the worst that could happen? USB driver tab on the bottom of the support page. Ooh. Ooh. I like driver. Thank you. All right, we'll install this too. I promise this is where you need to go on the tablet and developer options. Go to default USB configuration and select the transfer mode you would like to use. Okay, it's a little late for that, so I'm going to copy and paste this. And I'm going to, once we're back to troubleshooting with the Huawei tablet, I will try that first. But I don't want to stop what we're doing right now. So I'm going to add that to Notepad. That would have been great to know 20 minutes ago. And move on. So USB to serial thingy is installing. Okay. Install. No, I'm not starting my computer. Fuck that. Streaming. And I got to put this APK file somewhere so that I can download it. kellycontroller.com/support. I'm going to it on my little Android tablet here. Separate PC for streaming only. Nope. kellycontroller.com/ where's the support page here? I have no idea, Donald. One sec, I'm looking down at my tablet right now, so I can't see chat. Give me a second, I'll be back to this, I promise. One moment. KLS. I click KLS. I'm going to download the Android configuration program. I'm going to download this. If my tablet has a brain, it's probably going to try and stop me from opening this file. Okay, file manager. James, you never answered my first question, so I can't tell you. If the heating element is built into the tip, then no. If the heating element on your iron is separate from the tip, then yes. What the hell kind of bullshit-ass version of Android is this? My tablet says that the file manager app is not installed. What? Fuck out of here. Did you turn on sideload app? I don't know. But one second, I gotta do this part first. Sorry. Element is separate to tip. Yeah, then it will be. Because anything's better than that piece of shit. Okay, I'm going to attach this file, send it to myself. Okay, emailed myself the APK so I can pick it up on the tablet. I don't know, James. And for fuck's sake, stop giving me money. I'm not sure what their policy is there. I've never bought directly. I think I've only bought tips directly from HAKKO before, but nothing else. Because the PC doesn't want to work out, Seeger. So, and I successfully did this once a long time ago. Ruslan, stop telling me what to do with my life. It's annoying. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Come on. Give me my email, you little piece of shit. KLS 7230S. It does not wish to send my email. Is Google blocking me from sending that email to this tablet? It is, isn't it? I think Gmail is blocking me from emailing myself this. One sec. Why am I using email? Because it's faster than finding my other micro USB cable. Do Bluetooth file transfer. Oh, Bluetooth file transfer is fucking miserable. Bluetooth anything besides audio is miserable. Kinda, Goodle. Kinda, sorta. Yeah. I don't have them hooked up to anything else. I didn't bother hooking them up last year when I got partial fan spin either. Oh, yeah, you're right. Google does block it. What a fucking aggravation. Yeah, we'll just rename it to APK2. What? Okay, fine. We'll zip it. But then I have to unzip it in the tablet. My tablet's such a piece of shit, it doesn't even have a file manager. I'm probably doing this, though. I could... Oh my god, fuck you. You're really gonna make me find a... Okay, let's see if I can just do this from... So now I have to find and install a file manager onto this tablet. Erica's bird is dead, no kidding. That sucks. She loved that little bird. He pooped on me last year. I remember when he pooped on me. I live streamed him on this channel. And then he pooped. He liked to poop a lot. He was adorable. His name was Sao Sao the bird. He was a very anxious bird. Use a USB stick. I found a USB cable. I just have to install a file manager on the tablet. Too many hoops when all he needs to do is get the APK working. You will need to change options for default USB configuration in a developer. Change the options to default USB configuration. Yeah, we went through that 25 minutes ago. Now we're going back to this. Where were you 25 minutes ago? Trolling, that's what, little bear. What color is the LED at the controller? Bright red. Happy little red LED. I can go back to this tablet, but you're probably just going to troll me again. And when I get to the menu, you're going to say, check it. All right, so this is the original tablet that was fucking with me, right? So, let's see. Okay, so you said, so I'm going to settings. Developer options. Let me scroll up and see where he said to go. Default USB configuration. Okay, default USB configuration. There is no default USB configuration. The hell? What are you high? Where here do you read default USB configuration? Select USB configuration. All right. Select USB configuration, which is here. Okay, now what do we click from here? So it says change the options for default USB configuration under developer options. Okay, so change it. Change it to one of them. You fucking troll. Why did I even bother reading that comment? Change it to one of them. Yeah, very useful. All right, so back to what we're doing here. We're going to try it with the other tablet. One of them. Oh, you fucking troll. You troll. You troll. All right, I'm going to... Let's extract these files. I'm going to install the APK on another tablet. Man, I trusted you. Trusted you, mofo. I know the solution. The solution is something. Yeah, fuck out of here. Fuck. Block installation of apps from unknown sources. Let's just undo that. Call Kelly from tech support and let's hear it on live stream. Allow installation. App. All right. Fuck this tablet. Let's to get this out of its stand thing. Let's plug this into this. Into... Use a Mac UC. Let's see, where did I put my plug for the... There we go, it is plugged in. Ah, that's not plugged in. Okay, that makes sense. The key voltage is not. Okay, so we have this. We have another tablet now. We have this. No, I can't, Alex. I can't even fix my own bike. Alright, let's see what this tablet does. Open device failed. Okay, let's see. Enable developer, whatever the fuck in this one. Green and red means supply voltage too low or battery higher damage. No, mine's just red. See? Just red. Pure red. That's all I got on my Kelly. See? Just red. What happened, GSD? Check the unsupported wires in the serial connector. Let's see. These are all the permissions that I imagined for this. Prevent tablet from sleeping, no. Enable Bluetooth, no. Startup, no. Okay, what happens if I do this? Unplug, plug in, doesn't think anything. Yo, this is straight up trash. This is fucking garbage. This is absolute fucking gutter trash. Fuck you, Kelly, for ever releasing this. What a buggy piece of shit. DJ, that doesn't really make any sense. Like, a cable doesn't have a fucking... You're saying that they sent me a data cable without data lines. That's just retarded. I don't really know what else to say there. No, we need the software to tell me what's going on because we don't get motor spin. Also, if you want to switch between this as your throttle and an actual throttle, which like a Hall throttle versus a resistive throttle, then you need the software to set the setting. I know because I had to figure that out last year and it drove me crazy. At least this, it gives me it asks for the permission thing. So here I get open flash failed. On the other one I just get open device failed. Trying to make motor spin. Don't you kiss the days where there were hobby shops like Radio Shack where you could just pick up stuff like GIST connectors? I'm young, man. Radio Shack was pretty much a cell phone salesman. Yeah, this thing's pretty much a useless piece of shit. Hmm. I'm fairly certain that the green LED needs to be turned on, the red light off before serial can be expected to work. How to get that to happen, I don't know because of Chinesium. Yeah, Chinesium is a big foul here. I'm curious if I had actually left this on Hall sensor throttle, since the last time I finished this, I was testing it with the Hall sensor. Alright, so it's about time for me to say this goes out the window. That's pretty much it. This is exactly what I was worried about and afraid of with this piece of shit setup. The real problem is that I cannot get a Sabaton anytime soon. The 72150 is the one that I like. But this thing is out everywhere. Like, this website said it was in stock, and then when I bought it, it was out of stock. So I tried buying from them, and it was out of stock the moment after I bought it. Let's see. Do you have anything else? Actually, I tried buying that and this. Yeah, and they were both out of stock. Check eBay. Oh, so what am I doing here? I'm doing something very dangerous that I need to stop doing. I'm allowing my porn history to make its way into my streams. We're just gonna clear all that now, shall we? No one needs to know what type of sick porno I watch. Time range to clear. Yeah, let's just clear all of it. Alright. Alright. Sabaton. Yeah, there's nothing. China, China, Austria, Hong Kong, Japan, China, 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 China. China! Austria, Hong Kong. What about the 100 amp version? I don't need the 150 amp version. Okay, that's an evaporator. That's not a bike controller. Okay, what about the 80 amp version? Plug in a PC. No, fuck that. We spend an hour doing that. Screw that. Okay, so what does Google have to say? AliExpress, that's going to take forever. Currently unavailable. Try without the motor connected. That doesn't make a difference. The motor's not going to make any difference because it's like the motor doesn't have a brain, so there's not really any way for it to even tell if that's connected. Yeah, Amazon doesn't have anything either. You are probably shipping from China. Most likely China. I'm going to guess all these things are also coming from China. Yeah, July 14th. That is, fuck that. Summer's going to be half. July 14th, fuck that. July 14th, fuck that. There's actually one guy on Endless Sphere that I remember asking. There was one guy in the Endless Sphere forums that I was actually asking. Let's see if he got back to me. Endless Sphere Forum. Private messages. Fuck. No private messages. Yeah, because I went to items wanted over here, and I actually saw, not items wanted, I mean, items for sale. And this dude had a Sabvoton. He was in Germany, but Germany is different from China in that if I buy something and I pay for like FedEx International priority shipping, it'll actually get here in a few days. Whereas with China, they're fucked right now. Everything I'm buying from China, it takes, even if I pay for express shipping, it takes forever. So I actually made this guy an offer yesterday, but I haven't heard from him, so there's a chance it may have sold. Mario, I haven't found any. I looked last year and I couldn't find it either. Try Endless Sphere Forum number 53840. Connecting my controller using a laptop with a real serial port. LOL. Yeah, that's hysterical. Alright, time to end the stream. This is pretty depressing and clearly getting nowhere. Actually, very clearly getting nowhere. So this is... Yeah, there's not really much that I can say or do here that's going to make this Chinesium shit work. So, I am going to get out of here. And I'm going to try and find myself the 72150 controller that I used to have and use, because that was a really good one. That was a really nice controller, and it just worked, and it did a great job of just working. Yeah, that one was pretty good. And the software was, you know, you just plug it in and the shit just shows up and works. I mean, granted, there's a little couple of bugs here and there and weirdness, and you know, it's a little bit of cheap grade Chinesium, but for the most part, it just does what it's supposed to, which is all you could really ask for. The problem is I can't find the fucking thing anywhere, like even used. I would pay the price of a new one for a used one at this point, but it doesn't exist. All that you get is this piece of garbage. So, I gotta charge my bike. I'm ending other stream. It doesn't make a difference with the motor and stuff disconnected. I've tried that already, but for the most part. Alright. I just want to ask where I can find schematics for Mac. The internet, man. Google.com. Google.com, baby. Sir.